You've tuned in to Arm and a Leg and Other Opinions We Like to Give, a weekly podcast hosted by two veterans dedicated to politics, current events, interviews, and anything else they want to mention, but probably shouldn't. So without further ado, here are your hosts, Robbie the Dream Gaupp and Brett Miracle Man Park.
Hey, thank you so much, and welcome to another episode of Arm and a Leg, Another Opinion We Like to Give podcast. I am Brett Parks.
And it's your boy, Robbie Gaupp.
So, yeah, man, we got some stuff to talk about today. It's been pretty crazy this past week, and I'm glad we're able to, on this Sunday, God's Day, to speak about some horrible things that are going on in the world, but some also some great ones. The pastor that was held in Turkey, I believe it was Turkey, finally was released. Praise God for that. That was incredible. I was so excited to see that. And he actually got on his knees with Donald Trump in the Oval Office and prayed with him, which was amazing. But everybody that hates Donald Trump, I guess, hates Christians now because Donald Trump prayed with them.
Yeah, that's one of those things, I think in all actuality, when you look at it, the man coming back and then meeting with Donald Trump and actually saying a prayer for him after everything he's been through shows a lot of moral character as well. So it wasn't all about him.
Yeah,
so.
Man, totally, man. So what else we got there, Robbie?
How's your week, Brett?
Oh, let's see. It's good. It's just tiring. My wife and I went on a date last night. We dropped the kids off at the grandparents' house. Yeah, we went into the to go to one of those ghosts trolley tours in St. Augustine. St. Augustine being the oldest city in the nation, and supposedly extremely haunted. So we went on this ghost tour, and it was pretty fun. I'm a big time skeptic when it comes to like doing stuff like that. I know that spirits and demons and all that stuff exists. I've been face to face with a few of them in my life, but when it comes to like tours like that, I'm just like, get out of here. That's not a ghost. That was just moss and stuff like that. So
I've been face to face with a few demons too. My ex-wife.
Yeah, man, they're evil. They're what is it called? Malevolent.
Malevolent. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. What about you, Robbie? How's your week been?
I had a pretty good week. Did a lot of stuff with my kids. We're redesigning our room right now, so it's coming all together. It looks pretty good. I think we have some great ideas, and that's pretty much all I did all week. So
great. Yeah.
I was waiting for Call of Duty to drop, and then I didn't even buy it. So.
Oh, really? There's a new one that just came out?
Yeah.
Is it more the same?
I don't know. It looks a lot different. It has like a PUBG type map on it, like where you can play like that kind of thing. Where you can
that's cool.
Everybody wants to play zombies, so.
Oh yeah, it's stupid.
Stupid.
I tried playing that for a while, and I was like, ugh, I just don't have time, man. I don't have time to play video games anymore. And the time that I do have, my son, who's not anymore because he's punished, but man, he'll just play, and I'll just sit there and watch him. I don't care. I don't care about playing much.
Yeah, I do the same thing. I watch until I fall asleep.
Yeah. I feel like games have outgrown me. They outgrown me. Like there's so many things you can do now, and like this new Spider-Man game that's out on PS4. There's so much you can do, and I'm basic. Give me a kick, give me a punch, and give me a shoot the web. That's all I want. There's so many other combos I can't stand. It all started with Mortal Kombat. I couldn't get all those combinations up, right, left, B at the same time. And it's like, man, I can't do this anymore. So I tapped out at Nintendo.
Attention deficit, right? That's a jab. ADD.
Yeah, what? I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. What'd you say?
So we have some big topics this week. First off, we'd like to send our condolences out for the people affected by Hurricane Michael. It was catastrophic. It was one of the biggest hurricane that's ever hit and actually stayed Category 4 all the way through, right?
Yeah, I know Hurricane Andrew was Category 5 when it hit. So I believe that was the strongest, but it moved very quickly and it was small. So this hurricane was much bigger and it moved slower. So yeah, when I saw a lot of the film, the media on it, it reminded me a lot of Hurricane Andrew, just the devastation, and I've been in it. Those of you that actually rode through it, man, I know what it's like. I feel like Hurricane Andrew was the first time in my life that I thought I was going to die, and I know there are many there that felt the same way. And yeah, I feel for you guys. If you want to donate water, food, anything at all, you go to your local churches. Most of them are making collections so they can send that stuff up there. So So do your part, man, because these people, they're struggling and their whole world's over right now. You know, it's nothing matters to them but their lives at this moment. And,
Yeah, I seen some pictures of Mexico Beach, Florida, and it was like the whole place was completely wiped off basically off the map. It was ridiculous how much tragedy was there.
It's bad, man. And here we are. We're getting upset and getting happy over football games and fights and all this stuff. And there are people out there right now that just the other day had everything going for them, and now all they have are their lives and their family. And just be with them, help donate some stuff, and yeah, let's get them back on their feet.
Well, it was shocking to me to see how the hurricane picked up speed so fast, because it was a tropical storm, and it only literally took one to 2 days, and it was a Category 4, and it hit right away.
Those Gulf hurricanes are bad, man. They're nasty. That's warm water. Those hurricanes are tropical storms, even tropical depressions. If they get over that water in the Gulf, it's gonna pick up steam really quick.
Yeah, the biggest thing is make sure, if a hurricane's coming and you know about it in any way and it come into your area, just get out of there, because, there's no reason in putting your life or anybody else's life at risk trying to, sit out something or figure something out like that. It's easier to drive a few states over and sleep in your car versus, lose a life.
For sure. It's only a few hours and everything can be replaced, but your life cannot.
So for our next topic, we have a YouTube song, which Brett has a play of it. He's actually going to play the song, and we're going to kind of talk on it. A lot of people have seen it. It's more, you can kind of tell us some more details more about it, Brett, as far as.
Yeah, it's gone viral. There's 1,153 plus views in just a few days. And this song is called A Scary Time. It's a young lady. She's a rather attractive lady, and she's playing a ukulele. And the song's pretty catchy, but it's the words that are ridiculous. And I want to play a little bit for you so you can get an understanding what it sounds like. And then we're going to go over it pretty much line by line to talk about how ridiculous it is. So here we go. It's called A Scary Time.
Hi, I wrote a song. It goes like this. I can't walk to my car late at night while on the phone. I can't open up my windows when I'm home alone. I can't go to the bar without a chaperone. I can't wear a mini skirt if it's the only one I own. I can't use public transportation after 7 p.m. I can't be brutally honest when you slide into my DMs. I can't go to the club just to dance with my friends, and I can't ever leave my drink unattended. But it sure is scary time for boys. Yeah, gentlemen, band together, make some noise. It's really tough when your reputation's on the line, and any woman you assaulted could turn up anytime. Yeah, it sure is scary time for guys. Can't speak to any woman or look her in the eyes. It's so confusing, is it rape or is it just being nice? So inconvenient that you even have to think twice. I can't live in an apartment.
All right. That's pretty much how the song goes. And I want to talk about it a little bit. Basically, what she's saying is because there's a lot of men right now that are saying that men are pretty much under attack, and because of the whole Kavanaugh thing, and there's this movement to believe all women, believe survivors, which everyone that's logical and reasonable does, but it's the whole without evidence. And then there's a movement right now that it doesn't matter if there's evidence or not. If a woman says that there's sexual harassment or whatever, or sexual assault, you must believe them. And it's really a dangerous time for men when it comes to that. Well, this lady, she comes up, she writes this song, and it's basically a thumb in the eye to men saying, oh yeah, you got it so bad. Well, this is what I can't do. So I'm going to read the first verse for you, and then we're going to go over it. She says, I can't walk to my car late at night while on the phone. I can't open my windows when I'm home alone. I can't go to a bar without a chaperone, and I can't wear a mini skirt if it's the only one I own. Now, guys, where in this country a woman cannot walk to her car when she's on the phone? I don't know where this girl thinks she is, but you can do that. I've seen it happen multiple times. I can't open my windows when I'm home alone. Is that because the windows are too heavy, or is it because because she feels like, once again, I don't know where this girl lives in this country. I can't go to a bar without a chaperone. Now, I've never seen any woman or man at bars with chaperones. Like, if you're 18 or older.
Well, does a friend count as a chaperone? I just have a question. Does
Huh?
a friend count as a chaperone? Because sometimes I have to go with my friends because I don't like to go by myself.
Well, yeah, that's because you don't want to go by yourself. It's not like when we're in Oklahoma City and you're like, oh, Brett, I'm going to a bar. I'll be like, okay, well, I have to chaperone you to make sure you're okay. It doesn't happen. And I don't know if you know this or not, but there's no woman that I know that needs a chaperone to go to the bar. Do you know anyone?
No.
I mean, friends are a different thing.
Yeah, honestly, I don't. I mean, maybe somebody who's underage and has to have their parent go drop them off. They have to be chaperoned to the door, possibly.
Yes. Now, this girl kind of looks like she's 12, but I'm not sure. Here's the second one. I can't use public transportation after 7 p.m. I can't be brutally honest when you slide into my DMs. It's like basically instant messenger. I can't go to the club just to dance with my friends. I can't ever leave my drink unattended. Okay.
Well, first off, I want to say on that no one likes to go on public transportation after 7.
No one. And if this girl lives in New York, I know what she means, and that the trains come every 45 minutes, and that sucks. And there's been times where I've been sitting there at 2 a.m, and the train's not there, and I have to wait, and there's a lot of seedy people around. That doesn't mean that you can't do it. It just sucks, and you have to be prepared because, like my dad, my mom, my grandma, my grandfather, what they all used to say is nothing good happens after midnight, and it's true, man. Nothing good happens after midnight unless unless
you're on Tinder.
I'm just joking. As far as that one lyric, I can't wear a mini skirt if it's the only one I own. That's just ridiculous. What is it, because it's dirty from the week before?
Yeah, I mean, it's sad because I think it's almost like she puts girls in a category where everybody is affected by this, and it's not the case. Everybody's not affected by this. I'm sure it's the percentage is probably more not happening to than it is happening to, but with the time frame that we're in, it's happening. The people now are coming out of the woodworks, I would say, and saying, hey, this happened to me or this happened to me. And I'm not saying that those things didn't happen, but it's almost like you're guilty until proven innocent versus innocent until proven guilty. So
yeah, it's just it's a ridiculous song. It's virtue signaling at its finest. It's SWJ signaling. It's completely and totally ridiculous. She automatically looks at everybody, every man, as a suspect, as somebody that's going to rape her. She even says in there she can't answer the door in her silk pajamas. I'm like, what? Okay, so you can't answer the door. I don't know if you know this, Robbie. You do know this. I sleep naked. Right? He knows this because he's my roommate. I told him the first time I roomed with him, I said, okay, Robbie, I have some good news and I have some bad news. He's like, what's the bad news? I said, well, the bad news is I sleep naked. He says, oh man, what's the good news? I said, well, I'm good looking. So he knows I sleep naked. I would not answer the door in my pajamas either because my pajamas are my skin.
I would answer the door in my pajamas.
So yeah, of course you don't answer your door. Now it sounds like she lives in New York. And it's not a great town. It's getting worse by the second due to the politics of it. But to label every guy as somebody that's gonna screw you or try to get on you or whatever, it's ridiculous. I think this woman needs a huge reality check. She needs to actually go someplace where they can't do that things. And I have that for you right now, Robbie. Okay. There is a place where women can't leave the house without their husband's permission. You know where that is? Yemen. That's right. Yemen, where the law remains in force. Law does allow for a few emergency exceptions. Begum says if the woman must rush out to care for her ailing parents, for instance. So unless it's an emergency, you cannot leave your home without your husband's permission. That is in Yemen, not in the United States of America. You know where women can't drive? That's right, Saudi Arabia. And it says, good news, according to the World Economic Forum, for most recent gender gap report, equality has made modest gains in the Middle East. And Begum of Human Rights Watch says there's a lot of agitation for more change. Women in Saudi Arabia are highly educated and qualified. She says they don't want to be left in the dark. So they're fighting it right now, but guess what? They cannot drive. So coming back to this video, there is, what was I going to say? Yeah, this time in America, this time, 2018, is the most prosperous time in the history of the world for women. The most prosperous time. If she wrote this song 60 years ago, I could be like, yeah, you're right. But guess what? You're in America. In New York City, a woman can walk around shirtless and braless and nothing happens to her. They're actually applauded.
Well, yeah, I actually Sadie was showing me something recently where a woman paints with menstrual blood in the middle of New York. And
Yeah, you paints with menstrual blood, and you're saying that women aren't allowed to drive or can't go out without a chaperone? She's painting with menstrual blood. Get out of here with that.
I think in this era, people are afraid that everything they say or everything they do is going to affect somebody, so they just allow everything to be done now. It's just like, go ahead, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's ridiculous that this woman tries to victimize herself and everyone else. I used to live in New York. I lived in the Bronx for a few months. I lived right on Arthur Avenue, which is the Little Italy of the Bronx. They say it's the real Little Italy. So I lived there, but public transportation, the subway, was about 1.5 miles away from my house. And so at night, I used to wait tables at Bubblegum Shrimp Company. I know all the trivia.
Bubblegum.
So when I usually was on the phone with my brother. I had my headphones on, and what would happen is I'd get to the projects. There was 2 projects I had to go past, 2 buildings. And right before I got the projects, I said, Derek, I'll call you back. I took all my stuff, put it in my pocket, put my head down low, and I walked fast. Now, I'm a man, and I'm doing that. You know why? Because it's common sense. I didn't look at it like, oh, man, I did this because, all black people or all Hispanics or all men are bad people. I did it because it's not a great area, and you have to take precautions when it comes to places that are like that.
And that's men and women. It's not just men that have to do those kind of things, and just not women. It's, we worry about walking, if I'm in a bad area that's known for crime, I'm not going to walk on the same side of the street that 7 people are walking together that I feel, I could put myself in harm's way.
Right.
So I might cross the street, or I might take myself out of the position where it don't have to happen to me.
Right.
That's one of the things that in society, it's intelligence.
Men preying on women is not a systematic thing. There are bad people everywhere, and these bad people will try to get you. That's just how it is. And I suffer from this a lot. I have irrational fears, as I have extreme PTSD, and my mental health professional says that my fears are irrational. And I understand. I believe that, but I just can't get over it. This woman wrote a song about all of her irrational fears. And to me, it's just virtue signaling. She's the kind of girl that if you started working at her work and you saw her and her hair looked good, hey man, I really like your hair today, she would get you fired.
But then you would go out to a club and she'd be out there by herself. It's one of them things. It's wearing a mini skirt and doing everything that she says opposite in the video.
Yep. Yeah, so. Exactly. And do never, man, woman, midget, child, never, ever. And I mean midget as in like Wizard of Oz, not.
I love little people.
Yeah, not little people, but never leave your drink alone. The statistics of men getting roofied, date rape, drug, it's a staggering number, a number I don't have in front of me, but it's one that when we learned it in the military, I was like, holy cow. And you can get drugs just as easily being a man than a woman. There's been a lot of men that's been raped because of this date rape drug, and they weren't even drinking alcohol. You do not need to drink alcohol to get raped with a date rape drug.
I remember one time I went to a club, and I assumed that I was roofied so that I would leave the people I was with, because there was a bunch of girls I was with, and I was one of the only guys, and I had to leave and go home because I just got super sick. And it was like, why'd they pick me? Maybe because I was with all them girls, and I wouldn't have to, they wouldn't have nobody there. I don't know, but I ended up having to leave because I got super sick.
Yeah, you have to be careful. And this woman singing about this is, although it's a catchy song, I like the tune, I like the hook. Stop doing that. Stop acting like that.
Yeah, she plays the ukulele really well.
she's not helping the situation at all. She's actually exaggerating it. She's making it worse. We're not all like that. Trust me, we are not all out to get you. You can live on the first floor if you want. Just lock your doors.
And that's the thing. I think if you have a mentality that everybody's out to get you, then everything that's done, you're going to take it in that everybody's trying to get you. And it's not the case at all. You know, some people are just nice people.
It's an irrational fear.
Like you should, like, if you don't open up and allow people to be nice to you, and don't open up and allow people to, to make judgment and say, hey, you know what, this person's a great person, then you're always going to have a negative impact from those people every single time. It's not good for your mental health. It's not good for the environment around you, because you're always in fear.
Right. And people like if you're an attractive young lady, which this lady is, she's an attractive young lady. Guess what? Men are going to want to have sex with you. I'm sorry that you've been blessed with good looks, but women are going to have, men will want to have sex with you. And you have the ability to say, no, I'm not going to have sex with you. And most men that are men are going to respect that and be like, okay, that's fine. And I've been shot down many times in my life. I didn't go off and try to rape somebody or get through their first story window. It's just, you have that ability to say no. And there are actually men. We have men right now that seem like the most feminine men in the history of the world that you're saying are going to try to rape you. No, man, you're so many soy boys out there that if you said no, they'd be like, oh, that's great. You're so courageous. And then you'd walk away. All right. If I were to come up to you and want to take you home, number one, I'd be committing adultery. I don't do that. But let's say I'm not married and you say, no, not a chance. I'd be like, all right, peace out. I might call you a hussy as I left, but I'm not going to rape you. We don't do that. Men as a whole do not go around raping women. It's not a systemic problem.
Yeah. I mean, and I think it happens more commonly in other countries where women don't have rights versus somewhere where women do have rights. Yes. So it's definitely far superior. I believe that those kind of things are being taken advantage of because women don't have the say and the rights to stand up for themselves like we do here in America. Yeah,
I mean, in most Muslim countries, if a woman is raped and the guy that she's accusing has another witness said no, he didn't, then her opinion does not matter. She has to have at least like one or two men on her side saying, yes, I was there and she was raped. If she doesn't have that, she could go to jail. Like, that's not happening in America. I know you're taking this whole Kavanaugh thing to heart and being like, well, we didn't respect her. No, that's not true. We respected what she said. And we were very cautious of Mike. Oh, she's not telling the truth. But we didn't say that at first. We didn't say that. We're like, oh, crap. Well, let's see the evidence. And if it comes out that he did it, then get rid of him. But you're automatically thinking that, oh, you're a woman, you're lying. That's not what none of us thought that. I mean, there are some alt-right people and maybe even some alt-left people that were saying that. But the majority of Americans that are men were not all up in arms because she's lying, trying to get a spot. That's not what we thought at first.
Well, at the same time, we're only most of us, I'm going to say at least 90% of people get their information either from Facebook or, social media networks or in television. And right. We know we don't get all the information. So we're going into a case where we get a minute to 2 minutes hearing what they're saying versus, the days and the hours that they're putting into that court case. And we're like, oh, I can't believe they would do that. You only got 2 minutes of the court case. You don't know the entire situation. You don't know everything that was given and everything that was taken into that.
Yeah, we're a soundbite community. And I'm a victim of this as well, because when I'm watching YouTube, I get lost in YouTube, man. I fall down the YouTube hole. But I'm looking at videos, and if I see a video past 9 minutes, if I see it's like a 14 or 30-minute video, I'm like, oh, I'll bump that. Let me go to another video. That's just how we are. Our attention spans are so short these days that all we can take are sound bites of a situation. And then we take these sound bites, we draw our conclusions. And that's not a good thing. I suffer from that too, and I'm admitting that. But we got to be smarter than this. We need, as Americans, to be smarter than this woman. We need to.
we just have to start standing up and, coming together, not, like I said, not even as gender, race, and all, and standing together and saying, we're not going to let these things really destroy our economy, us as people. Like a lot of times we're letting things kind of beat us down, and then we start individually separating ourselves from that group, and we need to group back together versus trying to be individuals and pull people away from it. And that's our biggest mistake, I believe, right now in this world, is we're all trying to nitpick things and make our own little groups, when we all should be joining forces together and trying to fight all the bad things, from homelessness to just everything to make our country better.
Right.
So.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that was what I wanted to say about that young lady and her video. It's those of you that don't know it, just look up. If you want to watch the video or whatever, just look up lady ukulele hard for men or something.
Yeah, what was the main course? I think that's what it's under.
A scary time.
Yeah, scary time.
Scary time.
Lady
Yeah,
ukulele, scary time.
Yeah, her name is Lindsay Lab, and she's a dancer. She has 2 videos on her YouTube website. Her dancing is 3 minutes and 2 seconds, a little bit too long for me. So I need a 45-second dance and I'm good. But yeah, so good luck with that.
So Brett, what do you have for strange news for the day?
Strange news. This is so strange and so sad at the same time. I almost wanted to change this segment to sad news, but it's strange. So here's the headline. Police said 11 infant bodies found in ceiling of former funeral home. And it says here, the badly decomposed bodies of 11 infants were found in a ceiling of a former funeral home in Detroit's East Side, Detroit police said. The remains were found late Friday afternoon by state investigators, just hours after they received an anonymous letter explaining how to find the bodies, carefully hidden inside a false ceiling. The bodies have been hidden inside the former Cantrell funeral home, about 10 blocks east of Indian Village neighborhood. The funeral home was closed by state authorities in April after they found numerous violations of state law. After the infants' bodies were uncovered, Michigan State Police used a cadaver-trained police dog to search the entire building, but no additional bodies were found. Detroit Police Lieutenant Brian Bowser said, "We do have names for some of the remains that we're going to try to contact the families." He said he was unable to say how long the remains have been stored there or how old they were, but he said he was upset by the callousness of whoever had placed the remains of infants, some of them apparently stillborn, inside a cardboard box hidden in the drop-down ceiling of a stairwell. Police want to speak to former home's longtime owner, Raymond Cantrell. So this is pretty devastating, man. 11 children.
First off, it's disgusting. Second off, it is very devastating.
It is disgusting. And apparent stillborns, I don't know if the funeral home got some cadavers that ended up being pregnant and they just took the babies and just threw them away. But why wouldn't you report that stuff? Like that's so disturbing in my opinion.
Or just bury them with the body. When you remove all that stuff, you're still removing everything. So why not just decompose of it then? It's very odd why you took that specific, body and put it into the ceiling.
Yeah, I agree. I don't get it. I don't know what's going on there in Detroit, man. You guys got some problems. You need to get together because finding it. Sorry. Finding 2 babies behind a wall, 1 baby behind a wall is a problem, but you got 11 on your hands.
And a funeral home.
So let's hope that they take those remains and they lay them to rest, do the right thing. But it is very sad.
Yeah, very sad. It's very, and like you said, it's very strange and devastating that somebody mental state is to take things like that and put it away versus, like I said, you're a funeral home, so you had all the opportunities to bury these bodies, even if you're trying to commit murder or whatever. Right. You could have buried those with other bodies, and no one probably would have ever knew or even thought about it. But you decided to put it in a trap away door in your ceiling.
Yeah. So, sad times at Ridgemont High. So,
and that is strange news.
Strange news. Well, guys, it has been a treat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Arm and a Leg and other opinions we like to give. If you're interested in seeing us more on YouTube, not having to worry about Facebook and then blocking us, go ahead and go to our YouTube channel, Arm and a Leg Podcast, and click subscribe, and also hit that notification button so when we put out a video, you see it automatically.
You can also go to SoundCloud and subscribe as well and listen to us while you're driving to work or school or even to your just local gym or grocery store.
Yeah, how great would that be at the beginning of your day, driving to work with this beautiful voice in your ear saying hello.
You can also like our Facebook page, and leave us some comments and some debates, and we'll go on there and talk about it.
That's right. Business. I'm sorry. I got sidetracked. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to Arm and a Leg. I am Brett Parks.
This is your boy, Robbie Gaupp.
And we are out of here.